The story begins at a house. The family's dog is looking around in fear. Its owner, Adam, is running in a panic. He rushes into his parents' bedroom, where both of them are lying dead in pools of blood. Terrified, Adam hides under the bed and grabs a shotgun. As he struggles to handle the weapon in his panic, a dangerous vampire suddenly enters the room and starts dragging his father's body away. Then the vampire suddenly spots Adam. It immediately prepares to attack him. In the next scene, we meet the main character, Charlie. He is a high school student living in Clark County, Nevada. He is pushing his broken motorcycle home. On the way, he says hello to his neighbor Doris and then heads inside. His mother Jane starts complaining about their new neighbor. For no apparent reason, the man has been piling huge amounts of cement bags in his driveway. Just then, Charlie's girlfriend Amy arrives to take him to school. While Charlie is in class, the teacher begins taking attendance. That's when it becomes clear that several students are missing. One of them is Adam, whose death was shown at the beginning. Later, while Charlie is standing near his locker, his childhood friend Ed pulls him aside and tells him that Adam has disappeared. Ed says they should go check Adam's house that night, but Charlie refuses. Ever since he started dating Amy, he has been hanging out with the popular kids at school. People see Ed and Adam as losers. Instead of helping Ed, Charlie chooses to go on a date with Amy. When Amy is dropping him off at home, Charlie notices his mother flirting with their new neighbor, Jerry. The two of them decide to go meet him. After entering Jerry's house, Charlie receives an angry message from Ed. In the message, Ed threatens to reveal Charlie's embarrassing childhood secrets if he doesn't show up. Hearing that, Charlie immediately heads to Adam's house, where Ed is already waiting for him. The two knock on the door, but nobody answers, so they force their way inside. As they walk through the dark and empty house, Ed claims that Charlie's new neighbor Jerry is actually a vampire. Ed and Adam had been investigating him for quite some time. Now they were completely convinced that Jerry was a vampire. One piece of evidence was that every window in his house was completely covered and blacked out. Ed warns Charlie never to invite Jerry into his house because vampires cannot enter a home unless they are invited. But Charlie thinks the whole thing is ridiculous, and the two begin arguing. Ed says that Amy and the other popular kids are fake and shallow people. He tells Charlie that being around them has changed him. After that, they go their separate ways. Ed is riding his skateboard home when the school bully, Mark, suddenly attacks him. Trying to escape, Ed jumps over a wall and runs away. Unfortunately, he ends up face to face with Jerry. Terrified, Ed rushes into a nearby house because he believes Jerry won't be able to enter. But Jerry walks right in. The house is abandoned, so the vampire rule doesn't apply. Jerry tells Ed that he knows Ed has been spying on him for a long time. As Jerry speaks, Ed runs upstairs. He then jumps out a window, but Jerry is already waiting for him outside. Ed falls into a swimming pool. Jerry calmly tells him to relax. He says that what is about to happen is for Ed's own good. Then Jerry begins using his psychic powers to weaken Ed's mind. Finally, he sinks his sharp fangs into Ed's neck. The next day, Charlie notices that Ed never showed up at school, so he decides to go to Ed's house. But when Charlie gets there, he only finds Ed's parents. They welcome him warmly, and Charlie makes up an excuse that he needs to go upstairs and grab a book. Inside Ed's room, he discovers the website of a vampire hunter named Peter Vincent. He also finds several videos that Ed secretly recorded while watching Jerry's house. In the videos, Jerry's car door appears to open by itself. That proves Jerry doesn't show up on camera at all. Charlie is deeply shaken by this discovery. For the first time, he realizes Ed was telling the truth. When Charlie returns home, Jerry suddenly shows up. He says he needs a small favor. A woman is visiting his house, but he's run out of beer. He asks Charlie if he has any. Nervous, Charlie says yes. Jerry walks with him to the front door, but just as expected, he doesn't step inside. Charlie starts searching the refrigerator for beer, while Jerry watches him closely. Suddenly, Charlie accidentally drops and breaks a bottle. Jerry offers to help clean it up, but Charlie nervously says he can handle it himself. After giving Jerry the beer and closing the door, Charlie heads upstairs to his room, where Amy is waiting for him. But Charlie's mind is completely focused on Jerry now. He immediately runs to the window. Looking outside, he realizes that the woman on Jerry's date is none other than their neighbor, Doris. At that moment, Jerry looks up toward their window. Panicking, Charlie suddenly shoves Amy down onto the bed. Amy has no idea what's gotten into him. Frustrated and confused, she leaves. Later that night, Charlie wakes up to the sound of a woman screaming. He immediately calls the police. But when they arrive, Jerry cleverly talks his way out of the situation. He claims he simply made a woman scream because she was having a very good time. Charlie watches the whole thing with anger and disgust. Then he notices that as soon as the police leave, Jerry gets into his car and drives away. Worried about Doris's safety, Charlie sneaks into Jerry's house and starts looking around. Inside Jerry's study, he finds a strange occult symbol. He quickly takes a picture of it as evidence. Before he can investigate any further, Jerry returns home. Charlie is forced to hide inside a closet. To his surprise, he discovers a secret door inside the closet. The passage leads into a long long hallway connected to several rooms. One of the rooms is locked. Charlie peeks through a small hole and sees Doris trapped inside. He pulls out a screwdriver and starts trying to open the door, but then he hears Jerry approaching and quickly hides again. Looking through a crack in the door, Charlie watches as Jerry drags poor Doris out of the room and begins drinking her blood. While this is happening, Doris silently gestures for Charlie to stay quiet. Afterward, Jerry throws Doris back into the room and leaves. Charlie finally manages to unlock the door so he can get Doris out safely. Meanwhile, Jerry is downstairs in the living room watching television. The two quietly make their way down the stairs and head toward the front door. Suddenly, Jerry appears, forcing them to back away, but it turns out he only came to grab an apple. He returns to the television, and Charlie uses the opportunity to lead Doris outside. However, as they are leaving, Charlie realizes Jerry has been watching them the entire time with a sly smile on his face. The two manage to get out of the house. By now, the sun has risen, but the moment Doris steps into the sunlight, her body suddenly starts burning. Within seconds, she bursts into flames right where she stands. Seeing this, Charlie is completely traumatized. When he gets back home, he warns his mother to stay away from Jerry and never invite him into the house, but she has no idea what he's talking about. At school, Charlie decides to learn more about the vampire hunter whose website he found on Ed's computer. The man is Peter Vincent. Charlie sets out to find him and eventually arrives at a theater where Peter performs his show. Pretending to be a reporter, Charlie manages to get an invitation to Peter Vincent's apartment. The place is filled with weapons designed for hunting dangerous supernatural creatures, but the moment Charlie asks how to kill a vampire and shows him the photo of the occult symbol he found in Jerry's house, Peter assumes he's crazy and throws him out. With nowhere else to turn, Charlie starts placing garlic and crosses all around his room. At the same time, the school bullies, Mark and Ben, are standing outside his window, watching all of this in confusion. Suddenly, Jerry arrives and attacks both of them. Meanwhile, inside the house, Charlie is making sharpened wooden stakes to protect himself. Just then, Amy shows up and asks why he's been acting so strangely. Before Charlie can explain anything, Jerry appears at the front door and tells Jane to hand over her son because Charlie broke into his house the day before. Jane is shocked to hear that, but she decides to trust Charlie. Angrily, she tells Jerry to get lost. The vampire is immediately enraged. He grabs a shovel and starts digging behind Charlie's house. Then he exposes the gas line and sets it on fire. The fireplace explodes with a massive blast, and the entire house begins to burn. Now even Jane realizes that Jerry is extremely dangerous. The three of them quickly jump into a car and drive away. Jerry tries to chase them using Charlie's motorcycle, but the front wheel is damaged. Furious, he picks up the motorcycle and throws it at their car. Amy screams in terror. Even when Charlie tries to explain that Jerry is a vampire, his mother still struggles to fully believe it. A short time later, Jerry slams his truck into the back of their car. Then he rams into the side of it and speeds ahead to block the road. Jane panics. Charlie yells at her to keep driving, so she floors the gas pedal and drives straight into Jerry. But their problems are far from over. Jerry is still clinging underneath the car. Using his claws, he tears through the floor and starts forcing his way inside. By now, he has transformed back into his true, horrifying vampire form. Charlie repeatedly kicks him, trying to knock him loose. The moment Jerry finally falls away, Jane stops the car. But suddenly, another vehicle crashes into them. Its angry driver gets out and starts yelling. At that exact moment, Jerry uses his vampire strength to lift the entire car. Then he attacks the driver and drinks his blood. After that, Charlie bravely steps forward, holding a large cross. He stands between Jerry and his mother and Amy, telling them to run. Charlie slowly approaches Jerry, who has now returned to his human appearance. But to Charlie's shock, the cross has absolutely no effect on him. Jerry effortlessly picks Charlie up and throws him onto their car. Mocking human stupidity, Jerry says that people always forget one important thing when trying to kill a vampire. They forget to strike the heart. Just then, Jane sneaks up behind him and drives a metal road sign straight through his body. Jerry lets out a scream of agony, but at the same moment, Jane collapses to the ground. So Charlie and Amy help Jane back to her feet, and the three of them get into the dead driver's car. Charlie then deliberately crashes into their family car, causing it to flip over and land directly on top of Jerry. As the family escapes, Jerry's broken bones can be seen snapping back into place behind them. At the hospital, the police arrive and ask what happened, but Charlie doesn't tell them anything because he knows nobody would believe his story. Meanwhile, Peter Vincent begins looking at the printout of the occult symbol that Charlie left behind in his office. That's when he realizes Charlie wasn't joking. He immediately calls Charlie and asks him to come over. When Charlie and Amy finally arrive at Peter Vincent's apartment, he tells them everything. He explains that the symbol belongs to an extremely powerful vampire bloodline that originated in the Mediterranean region. These vampires keep their victims alive for days so they can eventually transform them into vampires as well. According to Peter, Charlie has no chance against a vampire like this. In fact, he says it would take an entire army to kill one. Suddenly, Peter receives a phone call informing him that a package has been delivered for him. He tells the delivery person to come inside and asks his girlfriend to receive it, but the delivery is actually a trap. Without warning, Ed walks into the apartment. He has now become a vampire. Peter pulls out a blessed stake to scare him away, but instead Peter panics and starts running when Ed charges after him. Just as Ed is about to grab him, a sliding door closes and severs Ed's arm. At the same time, Charlie and Amy discover Peter's girlfriend's dead body near the entrance. They also realize that the elevator controls have been destroyed. That means they need to find another way out. With nowhere to go, they hide behind a large shelf while Ed begins searching for them. Together, they push the shelf over onto him. Charlie grabs a nearby sword and tells Amy to get somewhere safe. Ed attacks Charlie, grabs him by the throat, and throws him across the room. But Charlie gets back up and takes an axe from the wall. Now the two stand face to face. Charlie swings the axe wildly. Finally, it strikes Ed in the neck. Meanwhile, Amy is preparing a shotgun loaded with silver bullets to defend herself. That's when Jerry arrives. Amy fires at him, but the bullets have very little effect. The silver rounds were actually meant for werewolves. Still, Amy refuses to give up. She finds the Holy Grail and throws the holy water inside it directly into Jerry's face. The attack weakens him for a short time. To everyone's surprise, Ed is still alive. He simply straightens his neck and attacks Charlie again, pinning him to the floor. He is just about to bite Charlie's neck when Amy rushes in and strikes him with a metal weapon, but Ed gets back up once more. With no other choice, Charlie drives a sharpened wooden stake straight into Ed's heart. For a few brief moments, Ed returns to his normal human appearance. He looks at Charlie and tells him that everything is okay. A moment later, he crumbles into ashes. Charlie and Amy then realize that Jerry has already made it inside. They escape through a door that opens directly into a nightclub. Meanwhile, Jerry recovers from the holy water and follows them. Because of the crowd, Charlie and Amy become separated, and that's when Jerry grabs Amy and takes her away. Using his psychic powers, Jerry forces Amy to drink his blood and places her completely under his control. Then he starts kissing her. Meanwhile, Charlie tries to save her, but a security guard grabs him and drags him away. Now all he can do is watch as Jerry drinks Amy's blood. Later, when Charlie returns to Peter Vincent's apartment, he finds Peter packing his belongings and preparing to leave. Peter finally tells the truth. He has never killed a vampire in his life. In reality, he only started collecting vampire hunting weapons because a vampire murdered his parents. When Peter hears that Charlie is determined to kill Jerry no matter what, he gives him a special wooden weapon. Legend says that if a true vampire is killed with this weapon, all of that vampire's victims will become human again. Peter also explains that vampires cannot think clearly when they are burning. After that, Charlie visits a thrift store and buys several supplies. Then, fully prepared, he heads to Jerry's house. The first thing he does is smash all the windows so sunlight can enter the building. Soon after, he finds Amy inside one of the rooms. But before he can reach her, something suddenly grabs him and pulls him away. When Charlie makes it back outside, he runs into Peter Vincent, who has arrived to help him and is carrying weapons. The two discover a hidden passage beneath the room where Amy was being held. They jump down into it. Together, they travel through a long, dark tunnel and pass by a door, unaware that Jerry is hiding behind them. Without warning, Jerry grabs Peter and lifts him into the air. Charlie tries to shoot him with an arrow, but Jerry catches it before it can hit him. Then Jerry slams a door shut, trapping Charlie on the other side and separating him from Peter. As Peter backs away, he fires several shots at Jerry. The bullets do absolutely nothing. Finally, Jerry throws a small stone at Peter's forehead. Blood begins running down Peter's face. That's when they discover Jerry isn't alone. The people he previously bit begin emerging from the dirt walls. The smell of blood has drawn them out. Meanwhile, on the other side of the basement, Charlie finds Amy, but her mind is now completely under the vampire's influence. She overpowers Charlie and pins him down. At the same time, Peter starts firing his special gun at the young vampires, but after only a few shots, the weapon jams. Just as Amy reveals her fangs and prepares to bite Charlie, he strikes her with a wooden stake. However, he intentionally avoids hitting her heart. A moment later, Charlie manages to open the door. When he sees Peter struggling, he fires a shot into the ceiling. The blast creates several small holes, allowing sunlight to shine into the basement. The sunlight saves Peter's life, but then Jerry notices that Peter has also been bitten. As the sunlight touches him, smoke begins rising from his body. He is slowly transforming into a vampire. Even so, Charlie's efforts are still not enough. The young vampires, including the school bully Mark, surround both of them. Meanwhile, Amy walks over to Jerry and begins kissing him. Using the distraction, Charlie grabs Peter's lighter and sets himself on fire before leaping directly at Jerry. That's when it is revealed that Charlie's suit is actually fire resistant. Jerry screams in pain while Charlie holds onto him. At the same time, a large section of the ceiling collapses, creating a massive opening. Even more sunlight pours into the basement. Jerry begins burning badly. Then Peter throws the special wooden weapon to Charlie. Charlie catches it and drives it straight through Jerry's heart. Instantly, Jerry turns to ashes and blows away into the air. At that exact moment, all of the young vampires return to being human. None of them remember how they ended up in the basement. Charlie's friend and many of the other victims are brought back to life as well.